Good morning, boys and girls. Hope you had a nice weekend. We really lucked out with the weather, huh? We definitely deserve that sunshine. Um, so I wanted to get started today. We are moving forward in our immigration, and this week's going to be pretty exciting. I know that your teachers have asked you to choose a country, Ireland, Germany, or Italy, to research. And just to kind of give you a little sense of where we're going with all of this, this week we're going to be, or you're going to be collecting some information about the immigration process, families leaving, the journey to America, and their time here, their arrival when they came to America. Um, and that work is going to eventually lead to some really fun historical fiction writing, as we've been studying in our reading. But we have to do some research first, because any historical fiction author researches first, gets the facts, and then figures out a way to embed those facts into their own fictional story. So we're going to continue our studies of immigration in our research this week. But we're actually not going to even take notes today. Your job today is going to be just to take a look at these links and sites that the teachers and I have put together for you, and just sort of get the lay of the land, right, so to speak. This idea of just sort of like seeing what's out there, seeing what information you can read and find interesting. I guess with them in the back of your mind, thinking of your country, of course, and just getting a sense of it all. So what I have here, and you're going to get a copy of this, is a document. Okay, so again, starting tomorrow, you will be assigned to begin note-taking on the immigration to America from your chosen country of those three. You'll be assigned a note-taking packet document that you can either print or use to type your notes. So you'll get that tomorrow, because we don't even want you to feel tempted to take notes today. So there are 4 major categories that you are going to focus your research on, and that's reasons. So what was the cause for them leaving their country? And I know from just some of the things that I read from my students last week, whether it was they were pushed out and that was their reason, or maybe just wanting to have a better life in some other fashion. The journey and process, right? So the process in which they were able to get a place on a ship, and also the journey itself, which can be a story in itself. Finances and costs, what did things cost? How much did people have to pay to come? And just the finances of life, what were things that they needed money for? And then, of course, arrivals and job opportunities. So these are the categories that I want you to be thinking about today while you're looking through these websites, okay? There's a lot of information, okay? So again, you're not going to take notes today. So we're calling them stations, okay? Research Station 1, Research Station 2, Research Station 3, and Research Station 4 for the 4, and they're not necessarily by category. So that's important to note. Again, there are 4 categories. These are just stations in the sense that they're different types of materials and resources that you can do. So let's just get right to it. Research Station number 1, it's called Printable Documents and Statistics. So I'm going to click on that. And it's going to bring me to here, and you'll see it says Printable Documents and Statistics. So there's an image. So first of all, let's think about what documents would be when we talk about documents. Maybe birth certificate, maybe papers that give them access to traveling, paperwork for coming home, for arriving in America. And statistics is data, numbers. And what you'll see is that you can find documents here that indicate you know, how many people from particular countries were coming at certain times in certain years. So just one thing, nothing is going to pop out at you for these websites. You're really going to have to sort of look around. But if you scroll down, look how cool that picture is. So amazing. When you're looking at pictures, make sure you're looking behind. You know, your note taking tomorrow doesn't have to just be from written word. It could just be from observations that you make. Okay? Thinking about the age. So here are your documents, statistics, and printable information of U.S. immigration. So immigration statistics, I'll just click on that just as an example. So U.S. immigration statistics, immigration station at Ellis Island in New York. So pay attention to the years, and this is important, and you'll see many of the countries repeat themselves over the time of all of these years because that was where the majority of the families and members were coming from. But when just to move forward, thinking about what time was most busy for your country would be interesting to note. Ship manifest is an interesting one. A manifest is basically a list of people and numbers of people on a ship. So that's a pretty neat one. This actually just shows you what one would look like. I can't really zoom in, but it tells you family. It has all different sort of information that they would ask you when you, or recorded when you came. So that would be an interesting thing to think about. Oops. So again, you can take a look at these different documents and see what you can learn, okay? If you go to photos and videos, again, nothing is going to just sort of be right there for you. You have to kind of take a look, but it's basically in this space here, it says progressive area to new era, 1900 and 1921. So these are pictures, and you can click on them to see them a little bit more closely. So here's Ellis Island Inspection Room. Actually, sorry, that's not what I want to do. I think you just click on the picture and it might show it bigger. There you go. Okay, so you can look at a picture. Again, today you might just be looking at them and noticing things. Tomorrow, recording some things that you notice. Again, your notes are to become factual information that could be embedded into a fictional piece. So if you wanted your character to experience the waiting room of Ellis Island, what are some things you notice? What are some things that you can include in your story? Oops, I did that again. Where am I? I want to be, I'll go back to it again anyway. Let's see. So these are all pictures that you can take a look at. And then down below, you'll see what looks like sort of like a movie strip. These are 2 movies or films that you can watch. Obviously, it's not going to be very much sound to it, but one is on the streets of the city, and the other looks like just crowds of people waiting for sure. So take a look at that. See what you can gain from that. Station 3 are videos and also some more photos. PowerPoints, I should say. So here's another picture. You could take a look at it. You know, imagining what it would be like to see Lady Liberty for the first time after being on a ship for as long as you were. Here's a picture, actually. You can imagine what that was like. And down below here, you will find a PowerPoint for each of the countries. Ship to shore, tenement buildings. So we talked a little about that in the past, about where they lived when they came here. So certainly this will be a very useful station for you to take a look at today, excuse me. And then the last one is virtual and interactive tours. Again, you have an interactive tour of Ellis Island, so you can go through there, the tenements. Also here, Victoria Confino is actually a real person that had they at the museum in New York City, the Tenement Museum in New York City, has documentation of her family and coming here. And so um, it says here her journey from Ellis Island to Orchard Street. Orchard Street is where the Tenement Museum is actually in the Lower East Side. Let's avoid the games for now. And then you can see Google Earth. You can see all of the islands, Statue of Liberty Museum and Ellis Island, and so on. Okay, so I think there's lots to look at. And again, your task today is to sort of become familiar with where there's information. And then tomorrow, when you start to record some of that information, you'll know where do you want to go and where you want to revisit for your second day. Have a great day today. Enjoy the materials that we've collected for you. And again, you're thinking of the facts, but in the very back of your mind, you're researchers for historical fiction. So you're thinking about what facts are interesting to you that you would want to include in your stories. Have a great day, everybody. Happy reading, and we'll see you tomorrow.